A day that provides no instructions, guidelines, but I've always viewed this as our sports community, what we decide to talk about. Sometimes we color outside the lines. Other times we do talk about sports events. But today, you're not sure where to start, certainly where to finish. You have questions. I don't know if people have answers. But as we saw what unfolded yesterday afternoon in Boston, having covered the Boston Marathon, having gone to Patriots Day, the fact the Red Sox game started at 11 o'clock, it ended in time for people to go over to the finish line. And what you have to understand about the Boston Marathon, it's different than any other marathon I've ever been involved in, because this is a holiday in Boston, in Massachusetts, Patriots Day. And it's a community marathon that invites the world in. If you can understand that, get the feel of that, it's neighborhoods. Now, it's not like New York City, because that's going through the 5 boroughs, not as intimate as what you have in Boston. But it is a prideful, prideful state, certainly that city, and what happened yesterday, the devastation there. The explosions, I think, affect all of us, and even the president said yesterday, this isn't about Democrats or Republicans, but you could say the same thing about sports fans. Yesterday, it's not about Red Sox fans or Yankee fans. Rivalries, debates fall to the wayside. Instead, I think it's more of a community-oriented feeling that makes sports great. We love to argue about sports, bad calls and coaching decisions, our favorite players, but also how to pull for one another. This is a time when you look at that and it's about support. And you need that collective strength. I think we've always found that's what makes us so great. Is we have that collective strength to pull through something like this, helping the victims and their families, and to keep participating in great events like the Boston Marathon. I think the initial reaction is to recoil. What's this mean? I don't want to go out. I don't want to participate. I'm nervous about going to a sporting event. Monday, we can all agree, was a tragic day, one that will have a deep impact on the sports world, one we'll remember together, and hopefully one we'll be able to overcome together. We have guests today. I will try to do a sports show with that in mind, but the feel is we're going through this the same way anybody else is. It's a personal level. It's also, you do it on a national stage. This isn't just Boston. This is about us. This is about an entire country here. And we'll try to have the appropriate guest on, try to just feel this out. And I think that's the best way to go about this. It's not a soapbox moment. It's self-righteous. We're angry. You're disappointed. You're sad. But through this, even with the terrible tragedy yesterday, the acts of heroism, that's what's amazing. What happened and what you've seen, and hopefully you didn't see some of the gory details here in the video and the pictures, because it was terrible. And we're going to talk to one of the first people on the scene who was taking video yesterday for Boston.com, a senior producer there. And he realized what he was seeing. He was right there. And he couldn't show what was at his feet. He had to point the camera up. But it's an ugly day, terrible day, sad day. You want answers? I'm into numerology of, does this correspond with things? Yesterday, this week, we'll go through some of those events that have happened in our history. Is there anything that connects that to the 1996 Olympic bombing? 2 people died. Similar pipe bomb. The bomb yesterday, obviously smaller than Oklahoma City with what happened at the federal building there. Security at sporting events. What's the new normal? Just some of those things that we'll go through, discuss. Now, I'm also going to have some sports guests on. Reggie Jackson's going to join us a little bit later on. Scott Pioli, the former Patriots general manager, was scheduled to come in. I know this is an outlet. I know there are times when, you're going to news for news. And we'll do our best to be able to be respectful. And I think that's what I'm trying to do today, is be respectful to that story, to those people, and still be able to do a show that allows you to have a little bit of an outlet there. There's no poll question today. There was nothing that we could come up with that I thought warranted asking you a question about this. The phone number is 877-3DP-SHOW. And even if you're just, it's just something to talk about, get it off your chest. Maybe you have a story. That's fine. Feel free. I think that what we've tried to do throughout the reinvention of this show is to just talk. Honest, open. Don't have the answers. We try. But I think we'll leave it at that today. Email address dp@danpatrick.com. And watching the first responders, part of the positive that was there with the marathon is you had a lot of emergency medical people there because it's a marathon. And to have people who were running in the race who were doctors or nurses. You had people who were in the race who went to they ran to the hospital to give blood. Incredible. But the first responders, they go in when everybody goes out. You had people running towards the bomb. And I hope people don't say, this puts it into perspective. You don't need this to put anything in perspective. What we do, we get to do it every day and talk and watch and listen and enjoy. And you go to a marathon, there's no booing. I mean, think about sporting events. There's no rivalry or us against them, or it's positive. It's uplifting. How many great stories do you hear? Somebody's honoring somebody who died running in the marathon. Somebody coming back from something, injury, cancer, surgery. They run in the marathon. Heartbreak Hill. You get to a certain moment and you go, I can't make it anymore. And understand, at the 25-mile mark in Boston, that's when families gather to root you on, because you need that in that final mile, 1.2 miles. That's when you need them, and they're there, and you see them. Once you get to the 25-mile marker, you start looking for your family and friends. So whoever did this knew what they were doing. The timing of it, they knew what they were doing. Devastation, they knew what they were doing. But to see these people, and there's two different races with the marathon. You have to understand, that's where elite runners go. Just to qualify, you have to be an elite runner. So you have those guys, the men and women who are already done, the elite runners. Then you have us. Then you have people, the people of Boston, Massachusetts, New England, and around the world. They go in there. They run that race. Imagine going to a race and you realize the biggest accomplishment was not that I ran and I finished. It's that I survived, or my family survived. And do you realize there were people from Newtown in the VIP section where the bomb went off? Imagine those parents who lost their children in Newtown. Pretty tough.